Page 22, Angel's Serenade. Serenade, well, it's kind of like a love song, actually. That's just, if you're into that sort of thing. I'm not, but that's okay. 6/8 time, 1 sharp. We're in the key of G major, so make sure you can do the G major scale and the E minor scale, because that also has 1 sharp. And you ought to be doing them a couple octaves up and down by now. I have scale videos on it. Do the beginner and intermediate part of those. Learn those scales. Get good at the scales. It will make a difference in your playing when you play the music. Right hand first. Let's make sure we get this. We got 1. Remember, a dotted quarter note is the same as 3/8 notes. Well, in 6/8 time, that's going to get 3 counts. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't forget the F sharps. 6, 4, 2, 1. That's here, here, here. We connect it all with the fingers, and that's what we're after. So the second line again, here, 4. So if you can do the scales 2 octaves, you have to do that anyways. That's fine. And then thumb, and then we do that some more. Okay. Bottom line, here. If they say here, thumb, I disagree. There's no point now. Just stay where you are. Thumb, 2, 3, 5. You just reach up 1 note. Now thumb. And end of the first line on page 23, it's here. And for the next note, rather than 4, I recommend 5. This way I can do a thumb and 5. I didn't cross over the thumb at all there, so it's 5, 4. You don't even have to do that. Well, you can use 3 here if you... But I need thumb again here. I don't want to end with the thumb if I'm going to play it again if I can help it. So I don't want a thumb here. The fingering in the book is fine here. You end in here. But you can also end on a second finger if you wanted. Here. I have to put a 4th finger on the E. So there's different fingerings available for this first measure, the second line. It's just start it with 5th finger. You don't have to cross over the thumb. Now. And I want thumb. The reason for that is we want 4th finger here. And I can't get 4th finger here gracefully, so I'm going to use thumb here. And then first get the notes, forget the rhythm. So it's 4, and then a 5, and here. And then this the arpeggio. I don't know if you're doing arpeggios yet or not, but that's the fingering for it. 4th finger, not 3rd. Here. In the left hand, you do get the arpeggios, but watch this fingering. We have the octave, but we got to go beyond it. We got another note here. Just 1 note. And this happens a lot in piano, because we're actually we're going a 10th. And it's a nice harmony, so you'll see it quite a bit in music and piano music. Well, in any music you can. But it's tricky to finger it first. So the fingering in the book is good. Just cross over for 1 note. Connect it. You have to look at first. Eventually you'll get to where you don't even have to look at the keyboard. The last line here. If your hand's big enough here, you don't have to do that. You can go ahead and this. I mean, if your hand will fit, why not? And then come down. But to try and do this is a bit awkward. So I don't recommend it. Just go ahead and cross over like they're saying to. Oh, and these 16th notes, now keep in mind in 6/8 time, a 16th note gets half a count. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and that's all that is. go through and put the hands together. The tricky part, you'll figure out where your own tricky part is. It's like on page 23. Last line, you're here. And here. They're both playing arpeggio. And fourth finger there, not third. Because that's the finger. That's the fingering. Use fourth finger there, like you did in that right hand. Here. Here. That's right. That's all right. Then go back through and get rid of the hesitations. These 16th notes have to be even flowing all the way through. No hesitations anywhere. As far as articulation goes, you're connecting everything in the left hand as best you can. You can lift up in the right hand. If you can, connect the right hand. So it's here. You can't connect the repeated note, but if you can, connect the top note. And then lift up. Lift up. If you can. Try that. You may have to work on that. Then dynamics go to the melody, which is the top note in the right hand. If you can do that, if you can't bring out one note, then you just have to, the whole right, I just have to play the right hand the same. I would prefer to, you just put a little more weight on the top note. Play that soft. I'm going to go here. Keep the left hand very soft. You get the idea, I hope. Over on page 23, third line down, you're going to crescendo up. It's a long crescendo. Up to about moderately loud. Don't get very loud. Don't get loud in this piece at all. Soft. And at the end, both hands can be the same here. Actually, on the arpeggio, both hands can be the same. You don't have to bring out one hand over the other there. The polka ritardando is just a little slow down. And the fermata, just hang on to that a little longer. And the left hand, you just, however long you got to do to match the right hand. And then here. And this, they don't give you an all tempo, which gives the impression you have a choice. But I'm going to suggest go ahead and keep it slow. However much you slow down before the fermata. Here. However fast that is how fast I'm going to continue. If they wanted you to go back up to the regular speed, they'd give you an all tempo in the last measure. When they don't give you anything, you pretty much have a choice. How do you want to interpret it? But I recommend you stay slow on that. Now we need the pedal here to smooth this out and give us the overtones. We have to be careful because we don't want the melody to get blurry. It's okay for these broken chords to get blurry, as long as it's the same chord, the harmony matches, but not the melody. It's overlapping pedals, so the hands do their thing first and then the pedal. And I change the pedal after I play the notes, so the pedal overlaps or lags behind the hands. That's why it's called overlapping pedal or lag pedal or syncopated pedal. So it's here. And change it after I play the notes. In case you're wondering, some people will, other people won't even notice. In the first measure, full measure, and the second part of it you have here, and then next going on, it's the same thing. But but they're changing the pedal. The question is, why are they changing the pedal if the harmony is the same? Because you go. And the couple of possibilities is they want to clean out all the extra notes at the beginning of each broken chord. See? So that G is by itself each time. Another possibility is they're keeping the pedal simple for you, and since they're changing it every 3 beats, they're just going to do that all the way through. Just in case you're noticing. So I'm going to go ahead and do it like they're doing, because I like the idea of cleaning out the notes at the beginning of each of these broken chords. And by the way, since I'm here, because this goes by so quick, you need to finger pedal the first note. Hold it down long enough to catch it with the pedal. Keep in mind the pedal is doing its thing after the hands. So I could already be gone from there by the time the pedal goes down and I lose the note. So finger pedal that. Just hang on to that one note. Just hang on to that one note long enough to catch it with the pedal. Be aware of that. Another thing, it has to do with interpretation, is we can shape these phrases. Go. So at the end of something, just come down, get a little soft. And then the next note is, you're a little louder now because you're starting a new phrase. Come down, just a little bit. You feel it, and then go back up. So shape the phrases on the left hand, you're keeping pretty much just very soft. It's just something else we do in interpreting music. After you get to know it and you're starting to get into it, you start thinking about these phrases and you shape the phrases, sort of. Now you'll notice there on page 22 in the first line in the last measure, it says sempre legato. Remember, sempre means always. Legato means connected. They're just telling you, keep connecting this all the way through. They gave you slurs in the left hand for the first part, because if they didn't give you anything, it'd be your choice what you wanted to do. You play them staccato. Wouldn't, but you could. But they give you the slurs, you don't have a choice, you have to connect them. You're not going to lift up before and after each slur. No, you just play it all connected. Well, the sempre legato means just keep doing it. Just keep playing it legato. I've already told you to connect everything, so just do it. Watch out at the end, the last 2 measures on page 23, you're here. So those are different. And after you play the A, push the pedal down. Here, I want to connect it to here. Both hands, I want to connect. So you push the pedal down right after that and then change it. So watch out on the pedal there. We do use pedals sometimes in this case just to connect stuff we can't connect with the hands. And in that case, we're just pushing the pedal down long enough to connect it. But here we need it on the next measure anyway, but we're still going to change it. So it's here, change it, push the pedal down, and then change it. And at the end, if you want it to die away, change the pedal on the chord. here. You can get rid of all that other stuff too. That helps to soften it down a bit. That is, you have to experiment with the sound and what do you like and don't like and that sort of thing. Yeah.